Alright, welcome to the show, everybody. Oh my god. Yes. Okay, so I need to get the right microphone on here. So we're simulcasting again, like we always do. That's what this channel's about. We're simulcasting. We're Brony brothers. We're Brony sisters. I don't know why I talk about My Little Pony too much. I talk about the ponies, the bronies, a little too much on this show. I just got to ask the question, why? Why do I talk about the bronies so much? Welcome to the show, brought to you by Firefox. I love Firefox. I haven't used Firefox in a while, but it's a really good browser. And if you don't like Firefox, use a hater. So here's what I think about the whole Luka Doncic situation. And the fact, I'm just going to say this right now, the NBA is rigged. I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. The NBA is super rigged. We're going to look up some Diddy stuff. Let's look up Diddy. Diddy. All right. And we got our Swiss cheese on these burgers right here. Let's take a look here. And we got the Diablo Sauce. Unboxing the Diablo Sauce straight from Walmart. Look at that. Oh my god. Oh my god. S47AS is the Diddy trial, dude. This is the what's the news? Well, I'm going to be looking up the news here in just a second. We're going to find out all things Diddy. Look at that. Oh my god. Diablo Sauce, the greatest sauce in the world. Woo. All right. Go. Pour that a little on here. Yeah, there we are. Let's get it going. Oh yeah. Okay, that's really good. Randy Wolf asked, did you drink water today? Yeah, dude. I had to drink a little more water for sure, but... Feeling good right now. All right, let's pull up a little more of this. So what do you guys think? Let's get a poll going. My video. Look, they're just trying to put another black guy in jail. That's what they're doing, man. It's unethical. So sad, I know, dude. Probably both. The soybean oil, yep. Diddy is the big 2025. Oh, yeah. Everyone, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Happy Wednesday. P. Diddy, did you drink water today? No. It's my brother Dylan Dow's birthday, but he goes by Dill. Can you say happy birthday, Dill Dow? Happy birthday, Dill Dow. Oh, Dill. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, okay. Your name's Dildo. Happy birthday, Dildo. Happy birthday, Dildo. I appreciate you. Ashley Weston says, free R. Kelly, free P. Diddy, Friday. Happy Wednesday. Hell yeah. Let's get going. Let's watch a little bit of Didster. Let's see what see what's going on. We'll watch a few clips. I'll react to them, obviously, and I'll be eating while I'm talking about the Didster.
Diddy trial day 3. Diddy's daughter's not in court, but his 85-year-old mother Janice was there. And on this rainy New York day, lurid new details emerging, and the bombshells keep dropping. Today, a twist to the tape that broke the case wide open.
The surveillance video obtained by CNN.
We've seen the hotel surveillance tape obtained by CNN that shows Diddy throwing his then-girlfriend Cassie to the floor, brutally kicking her, even dragging her down the hallway.
Combs can be seen grabbing Ventura and throwing her to the ground.
But now the prosecution entered new footage into evidence, 15 minutes of tape unedited, that shows what happened after the disturbing attack. The hotel security guard is
Diddy's looking good,
talking
dude.
to Diddy, still wrapped in the white towel.
Diddy's looking kind of ashamed. He's like, what am I doing out here? Do you guys think like P. Diddy was just on lots of drugs? That's what I'm thinking. LMAO have... Did the algorithm remove my comment because it had said sex? Probably. I don't know. Diddy topic again. Absolutely, dude. We're always talking about Diddy on this channel. Why are we not? Let's keep watching.
Back to the room, then Cassie leaves, the security guard behind her.
Cassie says that when she finally did leave the hotel, back to her own apartment.
CNN entertainment correspondent Elizabeth Wagmeister, who broke the news about the shocking tape a year ago, was in the courtroom today.
She goes home, her friend sees her battered face, and her friend calls the cops. They question her, but ultimately she does not say.
Why her friend called the cops? Why? I'm trying not to defend Diddy too much. But she better not be lying about Diddy, all right? Diddy's a little crazy. But we're a pro Diddy channel, all right? I never thought I'd say that. At first I wasn't, but now I am, all right? Let's begin.
Diddy's name. Why didn't she say his name? Because she essentially didn't want to ruin his life.
And Cassie revealed on her 29th birthday, Diddy actually forced her to participate in a freak-off. She also one time overdosed on the drug
The freak-offs, dude. Okay, hold on. I got to comment on the freak-offs, all right? Oh, shit. It's really good. Okay. So the freak-offs, all right? I still don't know if Diddy's in the wrong. Innocent until proven guilty, motherfucker. Innocent until Diddy needs no defense. LOL, says 47. Damn right. Have you all seen my live stream? I've not seen your live stream, Cremonio, but I will check it out soon enough. A pattern of clearly egregious behavior. Look, I'm trying to find a way for Diddy to win, and he's not making it easy.
HB in the Hamptons. She eventually woke up naked in the shower with a male escort and Diddy freaking out.
Oh,
Their
jeez.
intense relationship also took its toll in Cannes in 2012. They attended the premiere of Killing Them Softly, but now we know what happened before they hit the carpet.
During her testimony, she explained that she was on a yacht with Diddy, and they got in a fight, so Diddy kicked her off of the yacht. She left. She didn't have her stuff with her. She didn't even have her passport with her. When they fly home from Cannes, France, Cassie says they were still in a fight, and then he takes out a device, and he shows her videos of the freak-offs.
Cassie also told the jury after they broke up in 2018 he would blackmail her, threatening to expose her sex tapes. Cassie saying on the stand, "It's horrible and disgusting. No one should do that to anyone." And the judge began to add special privacy screens inside the courtroom before sexually explicit material was displayed. We now know Cassie provided those images from her phone to prosecutors.
Sean Combs and Cassie Ventura have not made eye contact with each other once. This day in court was actually the first time they have seen each other in more than 6 years. Of course, when they ended things.
Okay. So, I still don't understand exactly, like, the Didster, man. Hollywood's too crazy. Too insane. It's really good, you guys. All right. Let's begin.
Now we know things could not have ended worse. At one point, there was actually a brief break during the testimony, and she turned her back in the witness box away.
I'm eating a burger. That is crazy that the security guard ended up witnessing the whole hotel beating. That's wild. What is a Diddy even? So Diddy is the P. Diddy, Puff Daddy. The GOAT. Greatest hip-hop artist of all time. Haters gonna hate. Crunch says hello, bro. Hello, brony. It's getting wild, you guys. It's getting wild up in here. Let's keep watching.
From Diddy. The cross-examination of Cassie is going to be brutal. That's just the way it is. In these sex crimes cases, the defense's job is quite literally to pick apart their story and poke holes in their story.
Yeah.
On the kids.
Oh, yeah, why you so mad at me, yo?
Mad.
Why you got a front?
I was in love.
All right. Well, that was interesting. What do you guys think? Do you guys finally accept that I'm the greatest white rapper in the US of A? I'm gonna get myself a soda. put some more Diablo sauce on this shit. Mm-hmm. Pretty good. Mm. I'm a drunk, by the way. Get it, man? Turburglar says, wait, I do love Cumia. Anthony Cumia is pretty funny. Too good, man. Too good. You guys are killing it. Let's look at more Diddy. Court TV. All right.
Kelly, thank you so much for joining us. A lot going on today with Cassie on the stand for the second day. Tell us about what the latest has been. I know you joined us after the lunch break started. Has anything different happened since then?
Continuation of some of the testimony. So Cassie Ventura, the star witness for the government, she has been on the stand for the second day, the continuation of her direct examination. And so far, what we've heard from her testimony is very detailed information about what she says Sean Combs was having her participate in. And these are those freak-offs and how he would be providing her with drugs, suggesting that she take the drugs, and then she said she wanted to take the drugs for every single freak-off in order to disassociate with what was taking place. She said on the stand that she hated participating in these freak-offs. So this morning, what we've been seeing.
Yeah, so that is an interesting point. Cassie is a participant, not a witness. So it sounds like, I think it's funny because she had known about these freak-offs and all the bad shit that Diddy was doing for a very long time. And it begs the question, a lot of people knew all the bad shit that Diddy was doing for a very long time. So I'm a little skeptical right now about Cassie. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not too sure if Cassie... I think Cassie should be on trial as well. Because Diddy and her are both guilty. Cassie and Diddy are both guilty of doing terrible things. But Diddy's definitely the real problem, but Cassie's the second problem. It's just like Caroline Ellison and Sam Bankman-Fried. They were both big parts of the problem, and both of them were guilty. Mr. Tim Smith says, freak off, meth bang, yes. I have Taco Bell Diablo sauce right here. And I am a happy man. I found this shit at Walmart, which gives me a boner. She's lying. She liked being in them until things turned sour. Yeah, I think she's a problem. Should Beyonce and all the other people who attended the parties be on trial too? Yeah, I think so. I even think with the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, man. Let's keep seeing what Court TV has to say.
And so far is this playing of the freak off. So we cannot see this, but the jurors have a privacy screen on their monitor, so they're able to see some videos as well as some still images that the government has focused on in regard to these freak offs. For the testimony, because we do not have cameras inside a federal courtroom, we're bringing it to you and giving you some quotes from what's said inside while Cassie has been on the stand. So she has been talking about how she was detailing how Combs would recover after the freak-offs. They used IV fluids, massages, and chef-prepared meals. She also said...
I know she said chef-prepared meals, but I wonder if, any Chef Boyardee.
that she depended on opiates to make her feel numb, and added she had an ongoing off and on addiction to some of the drugs. So some of the testimony that she has been providing so far, she was also detailing her declining health as a result of the frequent freak-offs. She had stomach issues as well as constant UTIs. Sometimes she had to participate in the freak-offs while infected. So we've heard this theme while she has been on the stand. She was also talking about how at times when she would be in the middle of her...
My main curiosity is how many times was my boy LeBron at the freak-offs? You know? How many did he participate in? One moment. I'll be right back. All right, I need a Sprite. So I'm going to get through this. Woo! S47 says Epstein is different, unfortunately. A whole ass island with Stephen Hawking on the flight logs. Oh, damn. Hey, sometimes you gotta talk to the greatest physicist on Earth on a sex island, you know? It happens. All right, I'm sauced out, man. Had a lot of Diablo sauce just now. Let's see what else we got on the menu here. Free Diddy. Hashtag free Diddy. In fact, let me put this down.
freak-offs, she might have to vomit, and then Sean Combs would still force her to participate in the freak-offs even though she was very, very ill. Ted and Julia?
Kelly, some of this is very uncomfortable to listen to, but important information for this jury. And I know we've gotten video, you all out there and our team out there have gotten video of Cassie Ventura's husband, Alex Fine, personal trainer, who has been inside the courthouse, and we understand he may have been limited in being inside of the courtroom for her testimony because the defense may call him. Have you heard anything about this, or what can you tell us about who is inside of the gallery?
Stephen Hawking's dad over his legs. Oh.
Yeah, sure, Julia. So you're taking a look
playing
at
the
some
vid.
of that video now, and this is just an example of how kind of chaotic it can be when certain people are making their way inside the courtroom. I've been upstairs outside the hallway as Mr. Fine has been waiting to get inside the courtroom. He stands there. A lot of people have asked me, well, describe him and what's he doing as he's standing there. He has an entourage around him. He's worn a black t-shirt. He's a personal trainer and has worked as that, and so he is very fit. He has a lot of tattoos all over his body, and he just stands there. He doesn't really say much, is never really responding. But yes, they have requested that he not be inside the courtroom for some of the testimony. This would be post, I believe it's 2018, so they do not want him inside the courtroom because they may end up calling him as a witness. This is somebody that also knew Sean Combs and had a relationship with Sean Combs. Cassie Ventura ended up meeting him. They are married now. She's expecting her third child from him, so she's married to him. And so,
whoa, she's married to a guy that she met at the Diddy parties? Is that what I'm hearing? Interesting. Let's, I don't know. This is getting a little too creepy, you guys. I don't know what the hell's going on, man.
it's been interesting to see him around the courthouse outside as well as inside when I've been waiting to get inside the courtroom myself.
All right, Kelly Craft on a rainy day in Manhattan. Kelly will be with us throughout the day here on Court TV, updating us for this dramatic testimony going on with Cassie Ventura on the stand.
Well, I'm stunned. Well, what do you guys think about all this? Oh, hold on. I didn't even do a poll. I'm getting the poll up. All right, we got the poll up. Is Diddy being wrongfully accused? Oh my God, we got like how many votes? 3 votes already. Jeez, 67% of you say no. Let's take a look. Oh my God. Don't go breaking my heart. Let's see here. What else we need to look at here? Diddy. Trying to think if there's anything, there's some cool shit. It's crazy. Okay, do we watch the CNN one? I'll watch a little bit of the CNN one. CNN is, by the way, I still firmly believe CNN is fake news, but let's...
It sounds like you might have accidentally left out a word or two in your sentence. Could you please clarify what you meant to ask about CNN? I'm here to help.
CNN's gay. My AI is being stupid. CNN's gay. All right. Let's continue.
Back on the stand for a second day in the music mogul's criminal trial. Cassie Ventura shared shocking allegations of abuse during her testimony yesterday, and she also gave graphic details on the so-called freak-offs and then broke down in tears when asked about how she felt about the alleged events. Ventura said they made her feel disgusting and humiliated. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all 5 charges, including sex.
Whoa. Charges against Diddy. 1 count of racketeering, conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, 2 counts of transportation. Engage in... Oh, shit, dude. I'm scared. Is our boy going to be going to jail? I don't know. Not just be celebrities. Oh, wow. Jesus. Let's see. It's Pretty crazy allegations, man. Oh, man. Fake news still. Yep. ID now. Yeah. After the things that I heard about what he did to Bieber, I was like, dude, the Biebs. I love the Biebs. All right, let's try this.
Trafficking.
And a quick note to our viewers right now, CNN's coverage of this trial. You'll see on the left side of your screen, you'll see information coming in from our reporters who are inside the courtroom. It will be updating throughout the show. That's because there is no video or audio recording allowed in federal courts.
All right, let's bring in CNN senior legal analyst Ellie Honig and former federal prosecutor Elise Adamson. Great to have you both here. So Ventura is still testifying. This is her second day. Right now she is talking about that Uber ride home after the video we've seen from the hotel where Diddy is seen pulling her, attacking her. Tell us about her testimony and why that video is so important.
Well, so this is more corroboration. This is more support that prosecutors are trying to build in to Cassie Ventura's testimony. Of course, the surveillance video of the hotel assault is the most important piece, but now
some
we're
pretty
seeing the
damning shit
prosecutors
right there.
use some other pieces of evidence, selfies, text messages, emails, things that were on Cassie Ventura's phone because they want the jury to believe her unconditionally. And I want to make an important point here that the defense argument is that yes, this was domestic violence, but it's not racketeering, it's not sex trafficking. But it's important to know, and I think prosecutors are going to argue this, those things are not mutually exclusive. It can be both. In fact, one of the things prosecutors have to show is that there was force or coercion. And so that beating, if I was the prosecutor, I would argue, yeah, you bet it's domestic violence, but it also goes.
It's riding the line. It's definitely riding the line, a lot of it, man. We got to presume he's innocent, though. Man, I don't even know if the best lawyer could win this case. You know what I mean? I don't even know if, like, OJ's lawyer, for instance, could pull this off. We're talking about Diddy. We got to talk about the Didster.
To the sex trafficking or racketeering.
Because the argument could be made that from the prosecution
Crazy.
side is that was a form of coercion, that
Exactly.
perhaps she was afraid that she would get beaten up, and that is why she did some of these acts. And we should note, she talked about the selfies where she had a swollen lip and a black eye under her sunglasses. So clearly the prosecution is trying to draw that out. Wolf.
And it's interesting, Elise, because right now we're being told by our reporters who are inside the courtroom that Cassie Ventura reviewed a binder of more than a dozen photos that were shown, and clearly she was upset. She said she typically reached out to escorts to arrange these freak-offs because it was her job, and she felt she would be punished if she didn't do that.
Yeah, that's incredibly important because remember, the defense opened on the...
Yeah, Diddy was definitely pretty controlling from what we could hear on this one. Damn, dude, the Didster. I don't know if there's any way to save the Didster on this one, man. I don't think there's anything. We don't got anything going on, man. Let's see what happens.
The fact that Ventura was a willing participant. That's their theory of the case, that she was Combs' lover and she wanted to be there. And so they had to grapple, the prosecution had to grapple with the fact that Ventura was the one that was arranging some of these freak-offs.
Yeah.
I think the prosecution is
So that is an interesting thing. The fact that she is arranging these to happen. I think she's just as guilty as Diddy. And I think she's trying to get out of it by playing victim. You know, both her and Diddy were both doing drugs like crazy. It's obvious. They're both doing the same bullshit, screwed up behavior. Yeah, I don't know. I think both are guilty, if we're going to be quite honest. Both Cassie and Diddy, I feel like they are both guilty in a lot of ways. Yes, is what Diddy did bad? Yeah, obviously. But, like, I don't know. I felt like I think it takes two to tango, and I felt like she was a little too willing to be a part of it. And it took this long to say anything about it. Very convenient. They're both guilty. They both should be on the stand and both should be facing trial. Is Diddy being wrongfully accused? 92% of you say no. 8% of you say yes. Hold on, I'll get to Tim Smith's comment here in a second. S47 says, I think they dated for like 17 years, so Cassie could have left a long time ago, but Diddy never married her, so no money for her if she leaves. That's right. I'll say that Diddy's a smart man for not marrying. If you ain't married, no alimony, no anything. Great deal. Let's see. Tim Smith says, Cassie Ventura arranged a massage for me in a Sonic restroom. Oh my God. Tim Smith was at the white parties. Tim Smith might have been at the freak-offs. Allegedly. Terry Luxmore says, you have not been a victim. No. Not to Diddy, at least. Cassie is hot AF, says Blairio. If you arrest the hot girls equals less. Oh my God. It's ridiculous. She's afraid of him, I understand. I honestly don't know how you could be afraid of Diddy. Like, in the sense that, you know, Diddy's kind of crazy, but at the same time, I mean, I guess he is kind of strong, but I don't know. Diddy kind of seems like a pussy.
Wonderful job explaining why that was. By framing this as a job instead of something that she wanted to do, it makes it clear that there perhaps was that coercion. And by tying it to that violence, as Ellie just said, the photos, the corroboration of the black eyes, shows that she didn't really have a choice. She was going to be punished if she didn't comply, and that's key.
And she said that, she just testified under oath that when she paid these men to be in these so-called freak-offs, it was with Combs's money. That's what she's saying.
Yeah, I think the argument...
I got that Diddy money. I got that Diddy money. I just feel like she was a part of the... She was arranging the freak-offs. I think she could... You know, she could have opted out of that. She could have been like, look, I don't think I have the skills to arrange it. Can I just, like, you know, whack off in a corner while everybody's doing freak-offs? You know, she could have found a way out of that. Takes two to tango. I think both Cassie and Diddy are guilty. That's my final offer. What do you guys think?
To make here is, it sounds a little strange, but the freak-offs are not about the sex, or at least the sex is not what's relevant to you, the jury. What's relevant is those freak-offs show the element of coercion, as Elise was saying, and they show that there's some organization at play here. Remember, this is a racketeering charge, the first charge here, and that means that there was some sort of organized enterprise that was committing multiple crimes. So prosecutors need to show this was more than whatever sexual proclivities may have been, felt here by Sean Combs. There was some organization here with respect to people and methods and payments, and I think that's what prosecutors are building on.
And also another important point, the racketeering and the sex trafficking charge, and what I've noticed, and she just talked about it, was the fact that some of this happened across state lines, that it happened in different states, and that is key in terms of the sex trafficking charge. Also, she's talking right now about, in January 2016, that Combs sent her a text that he wanted to have a proper FO, freak-off, where they didn't take ketamine, of course.
Well, they're calling the freak-offs FOs now? That sounds pretty legit to me. I'm going to go to the FO tonight. Hell yeah, dude. It's like we have this strip club in town called the Bachelor's Inn. We call it the BI. When you say you're going to the BI, we know what you're talking about. By the way, BI got a shout. Bachelor's Inn got a shout out on the Andrew Santino fucking podcast of all fucking places. Wild. Fucking wild to me. Oh, man. Let's keep going.
Drugs have also been a big part of all of this. What do you make of that?
Well, first of all, the crossing state lines is one.
Oh, hold on. Before we continue watching and reacting, Tim Smith has a comment. Hold on. Breaking. Tim Smith says breaking. Defense to call SBF to the stand. He was Diddy's head of risk management. I bet he found a way to convince Diddy to get into crypto, and I bet Sam Bankman-Fried also participated in the freak offs. What a beast.
gets us into federal court. It sounds like they're going to have no problem establishing that. This happened in California, New York, New Jersey, Florida, and elsewhere. Yes, so...
Okay, so there's so much CNN I could watch before I start getting nauseous. Let me just react to a few, what do you call these things? Chats. My chats. My pussy and my cracks. Okay. Did he dangle well stairs off the balcony on the right? He was violent and creepy. Yeah, he's violent and creepy. Absolutely. No says it's funny how people are still focused on Diddy with all the corruption going on in the White House. I don't know. I mean, we already got all the corruption out of the White House by getting Biden out, so we're good there. Lucas says Trump is the greatest. Absolutely. The man, the GOAT, the legend. Andrew, but a human. Everyone deserves a second chance. Slick says, yes, Andrew, for real. It's only about baby oil. Oh, my God. Yeah, 10,000 bottles of baby oil. That still blows my mind, man. Andrew says Diddy wouldn't have ever owned a record label if it weren't for Clive Davis. He's the top boss. Oh, Clive Davis is the... Are you saying that Clive is the man behind all this? Also, 3% of you said, I am a pussy and refuse to take sides. 78% of you said no. And 19% of you said, yes, he's being wrongfully accused. The world is on the right track. Maybe.
The point with the freak-offs, and we're going to have a proper freak-off and that kind of thing, and the drugs are part of the persuasion. The drugs are part of the coercion, the threats that make this more than just sex or even more than just domestic violence.
And if I could just add, I mean, that's what Ventura said, that she had to take the drugs to dissociate so she could participate. That doesn't sound like willing participation to me. It probably won't sound like willing
I don't know. Some people do drugs because they think it's fun to do when they're banging. It's like the ultimate high. I feel like there are two sides to this story. I feel like both of them, like I said, I'm not saying Diddy's innocent. I mean, I did say that at the beginning, but I've changed my mind during this live broadcast. I realize now that everybody's guilty who associated with Diddy, who knew about all this. The worst part is there were a lot of people who knew about this shit. Yet nothing happened to him. Here's my problem. It's not that Diddy did these things, it's that nobody spoke up. You guys claim to be so high and mighty and so virtuous, yet nobody spoke up. Let's keep watching.
participation to a jury.
It's interesting, Elise. Right now, Cassie Ventura is 8 months pregnant with a very visible baby bump. We've learned that the defense asked the judge to have her seated in the witness box before the jury came in, arguing that her pregnancy would prejudice the jury against Combs. The judge said no. What do you think of that request?
Yeah, look, Wolf, I knew the defense had to try, right? Because they're not going to view her as this 22-year-old girl who set up all of these meetings. They're looking at her now as a 38-year-old mother, and it could possibly invoke some sympathy in the jurors. Listen, jurors are human beings.
I can't believe this shit's been going on for so long. These freak-offs. Like, come on, man. I'm not even mad at Diddy anymore. Yeah, is he guilty? Sure. What about all you? All you fucking Hollywood elites participating in this gross shit. What about you, LBJ? LeBron, were you in on it too? I'm asking the questions. Was LeBron in on it? Let's go.
They're going to feel things, but you can't hide the fact that this is a pregnant woman. And so I think the judge rightly said no. She's going to be able to walk to the witness stand, and she's not doing anything to inflame the passions of the jury. I don't hear any reporting of her really playing up her pregnancy, but they're going to have to contend with the fact that Cassie is a person, and from everything I've heard from the reporting, she's also testifying very well, very credibly and emotionally.
And she's there with her husband, who's inside with her as well. And just now we're being told by our reporters in the courtroom that Ventura testified that she tried to avoid kissing the escorts during the so-called freak-offs because it felt too intimate and made me squeamish. That's what she said. And explain to our viewers in terms that we can use here. I asked myself the question, if I were in her shoes,
and I was like a 22-year-old African American girl. Diddy wants to do stuff with me. I'm thinking, damn, Diddy, you're making my mussy wet. Shit. What you want? What you want? Let's go. Let's keep going.
Here on CNN, what these freak-offs were.
Oh boy, that's quite an assignment. What they were these extended, sometimes for a day or 2 days, sexual gatherings. They would usually do them in hotel rooms. Sean Combs would arrange them and engineer them. He would tell.
Oh shit! They weren't just doing this at Diddy's mansion. They were doing this at hotel rooms. That I did not. I thought this was all done at Diddy's pad.
Cassie what to do. They would bring in male escorts. One of the things Sean Combs would do is watch.
First off, Diddy was banging the male escorts, dude. Diddy's gay. Diddy is gay, dude. He loves that sausage. He loves that rapper sausage. Let's keep going.
Cassie with those male escorts. There were all sorts of lubricants involved. There's baby oil. It's part of this case. But again, the thing that's really relevant.
Hold on. Let's answer some questions in the chat. The chat is getting hyphy. Let's see what the chat is saying. I'm going to take you guys to Epstein's Island if you guys don't shut the fuck up. Lucas says 19% are brainwashed. I subbed. Keep up the great work. Let's see. Thank you. I just want to say thank you, Luca. Appreciate the subscription. We need you. Because I need you and I want you crawling underneath my skin. So S47 says, gotta love CNN's virtue signaling. Absolutely. Standing 340 says Trump knew about. Oh my God. No, Trump was on Epstein's plane. Standing 304. Exactly, they all know. What are freak-offs? Basically, it's something where Diddy and a bunch of other rappers do gay shit to each other. It usually involves baby oil and Astroglide, I'm assuming. Peter Hemacline says hi, hello. Ashley Weston says, free P. Diddy, what does her race have to do with it? So you're a clout chaser. I am. How'd you know? How'd you know I was a clout? Dude, I am a clout chaser, absolutely. Why do you think I love talking about Diddy? One, Diddy gets me eyeballs on my channel. Two, I actually do enjoy talking about Diddy because it is fun to imagine how creepy and freaky those freak-offs were, man. I think I'm just jealous that I never got to participate, that I was never cool enough. I mean, what's the point of me being a big-time Hollywood actor if I can't go to a P. Diddy freak-off? Bullshit. Let's keep watching.
Relevant to this trial is not whether one agrees or disagrees with the sexual proclivities or is offended by it, but were these voluntary activities? And I think the prosecution's point, as Elise was saying, is the more extreme this conduct was, the less likely it is that Cassie Ventura would have consented to this, and that she was doing it because she felt forced or compelled or under a threat.
How should the defense approach questioning Ventura during cross-examination?
Whoa. How should they approach it? Questioning her. I would be like, dude, why you seem to be eager when you were younger to coordinate the freak-offs, and that you took the drugs because it was fun. Yeah. Bullshit, dude.
Yeah, so remember, Pamela, she's pregnant, and that's relevant because of the sensitivities involved in that. At the same time, I think you have to get to the core issue, right? You could, as Ellie said, take what she said. Hey, this happened, that abuse happened. You can believe your eyes, they're not lying. What I want to focus on, ladies and gentlemen, is the issue of a 10-year relationship. And there came a point in year 2 where he brought up to you, that is Sean Combs, that we want to do this. We want to be a little freaky. We want to get other people involved, right?
Yeah.
You had an opportunity to say no. Did you? You had an opportunity to walk away in year 3. Did you? Year 4, year 5, you continued with it. Is that right?
Yeah, okay. I see. Absolutely. That's why I think she's just as guilty as P. Diddy. Her Cassie and Diddy, I think, are both very, very guilty. And she's like, okay, this is going to sound a little crazy, but it's just like how Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell, right? Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell. is Diddy to Cassie. That's how I see it, allegedly. Allegedly, that's how it should be. That's how I perceive it. It's my opinion. That's all it is. It's just an opinion. Let's keep going.
Performers, and you wanted and were enjoying these experiences, right? Okay, and so the issue really...
Yes, I think that she actually did. Anybody who kept going that long, I'm sorry, she probably could have found a way out eventually. It just pisses me off. Like, there's got to come a point where it's just like, I think she's just as sick and twisted as P. Diddy. I think they're both very sick and twisted people. That's the way I see this whole situation.
Involves force, fraud, or coercion. And in fact, you called one of the male sex workers back up to re-engage in activities, and you, quite frankly, enjoyed it.
Yeah, dude, she was hoeing her pussy out the way that P. Diddy was hoeing his butthole out. All right? That's the way I see this whole situation, dude. They are both hoes. All right? They are both hoeing their pussies out and their mussies out and all that shit. S47 says, bro. And then Kane Firefist says, how dare you? How dare you? Dave Chappelle says, Dave Chappelle had the best jokes about Diddy on SNL. It's on YouTube. Watch it. Hell yeah, dude. Tur Burglar says, Diddy seems like a people pleaser. I mean, just listen to that Meek Mill audio. Oh, Meek Mill gay, dude. S47 says, it's still considered coercion because she is a broke bum if she left. No money. I don't know. I thought Cassie was well off when she met Diddy. I don't even know who she really is, to be honest. But I assume that if she's with the Didster, she probably had some money to begin with. Tracy Grimm says they should let the woman lawyer cross her so the man lawyer doesn't seem bullying. I mean, that's one way to do it. Standing 3404 says, why did any of them do it? They all stayed to get paid. They were not in the parties by themselves. Victim blaming is disgusting. She was very... Okay, first off, anybody can be a victim of anything. You could even say that Diddy was a victim of his own mental illnesses. This is the problem. When you start thinking that everybody's a victim, you can't consider the possibility that they did anything wrong, right? And even people who are seen as the victim in these scenarios can still do something wrong, right? And yeah, I don't think she's a victim at all. I think both Diddy and Cassie participated in these events for quite a while. Obviously, Diddy's the ringleader. I don't know, something doesn't add up. And I think she was enjoying all of it, is the thing, until it became convenient not to. The Observer says she was very young and she was being manipulated and abused by him. Stop blame shifting and victim blaming. Okay, first off, I don't see her as a victim. I see her as a participant. Thank you. I see anybody who went to those Diddy parties and who even associated with Diddy, that fucking creep, as not a victim, but a willing participant. That's the way I see it. I think they're all monsters. I think Cassie's a monster. I think Diddy's a monster. I think anybody who participated in those freak-offs willingly and all knew about what Diddy was doing did not step forward. Nobody did anything. So yeah, I don't see her as the victim. I see her as guilty. I see her as guilty. I see Diddy as guilty. They're all guilty. All of them. She's just trying to play innocent so she doesn't have to be put on trial, which makes sense to me. I think that she's like Ghislaine Maxwell to Epstein to Maxwell, man. Nobody called Ghislaine. You know what's funny with the whole Epstein situation? Ghislaine Maxwell was doing some shit too. Nobody came to her defense. I'm not saying she's a good person either. They're all guilty on that end too. The Observer says everybody who didn't play by his rules got crushed or even killed by him, and she knew that. She was afraid for her life. Yeah, I don't know. The whole situation just seems sketchy. And yeah, dude, Diddy's a piece of shit. Absolutely. And I'm not saying that Diddy's innocent. Although my stream did say at the beginning he was. It was more of a can we find innocence within all this? But no, he's not. Diddy is clearly not innocent. I don't know. I question her as well. I think both should be on trial by the state. Yeah, there's just something about it. I think anybody who even associated with Diddy closely should be investigated. That includes my boy LeBron.
So it's important to note, Pamela, the issue really is not about a person's sex life on trial. Jurors are not there to be the morality police. They're not there to police whether or not someone has a sex life we agree with, we think is appropriate. We may think they're sick and demented. The issue is it a federal offense? Where's the fraud? Where's the coercion, right? Where is it that there was a...
Do you guys think this guy was at one of them? I don't think he was. I'm not saying he was, but what do you guys think? This guy looks pretty fancy. Wonder if he went to one of the parties.
Put to your head, and you said, hey, you need to do this. You could have opted out of the relationship, the defense will say, on several occasions. Did you do that? Oh, well, he was affecting my career.
All right. Tiffany says, you say he's not innocent and you're blaming the victim. So I think, first off, I think he's guilty, Tiffany. So, Tiffany, Diddy is very guilty, and so is Cassie. I think that they're both guilty. I think it takes two to tango, and I think she was with him long enough to know what kind of piece of shit he was, and to eventually try to get out of that shit. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't think she's a victim, to be quite honest. I think once you do terrible things long enough, even if it, I don't know. I don't think she was as much of a victim as she claims to be. And you know what I mean? It's like, I still think of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. I think they're both guilty and putrid people. I think Diddy and Cassie are both disgusting, putrid people who did shitty things. I think she's just trying to get out of it, though. Let's see. Tiffany says, you wish you were at one. Well, I mean, I've been wanting to go to a Diddy White party for a while. That's why do you think I want to become why do you think I want to become big-time Hollywood celebrity? Why do you think I want to become one big-time celebrity so I could go to a Diddy White party? Duh. Jeez, The Observer says Melania. Let's see. Jennifer Harden says she's only 19 and was groomed. Absolutely. Yeah, and the grooming part's pretty gross, you know. Crunch says, bro, what is Diddy? Just a guy. She did it to survive. Facts, Ray. I don't know, you guys. Look. You could say I'm victim blaming, blah, blah, blah. I think both were. I think Diddy is the guiltiest, but I think she was a willing participant. Let's just put it at that. Jennifer, don't let the door hit you out on the way out. But look, yeah, I think both are guilty. She was a willing participant, and Diddy was also a piece of shit. Did terrible things. I don't understand how this is so hard to grasp, you know? Turd Burglar says, let's be honest, who wouldn't have went to a Diddy party? Moral... Yeah, I think most people would have gone to the freak-offs. Been like, hey, do you want to go to a Diddy freak-off with me? Yeah, sure, that sounds great, brony. Let's do it. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm sick of people moral grandstanding on this one too, Turd Burglar. I think people got to stop acting like they have the moral high ground. Look, Diddy's a piece of shit. Anybody who collaborated with Diddy's a piece of shit. Anybody who worked closely with Diddy is a piece of shit. They knew what kind of piece of shit he was, yet they wanted some of that action. So,
okay, but right, there are other people besides Sean Combs that you could potentially have relied upon, that you could have potentially gone out with, right? So the bottom line is, yes, there are a lot of sensitivities, Pamela, in this cross-examination, and a lot of things I said where people may be throwing things at the TV screen. But at the end of the day, keep your eyes on the prize. The defense attorneys would say, not about sex, not about salaciousness, it's about criminality.
Anyway, this shit's getting crazy, man. Oh shit! Who won in the NBA? Oh, Boston won. Oh shit, dude! Boston still got it. They're still in this series. They're not leaving, dude. Boston ain't leaving. I wonder. Oh, Kevin O'Leary was on CNN? Really? I gotta see this. I do like Kevin O'Leary, but he is too gay for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is so dumb. It is cryptocurrency. It is for creepers. It's for sex traffickers. You name it, man. Screw that, man. It's on CNN. I want to see that CNN clip. I didn't know. Also, Abby Phillips confronts Shark Tank host. It's in the I gotta see this.
To our reporting, some of the deals going on right now. Saudi Arabia, 2 luxury towers, Live Golf Partnership, Qatar, Golf Club and Villas, UAE, luxury hotel, cryptocurrency deal, Oman, resort and golf project.
And the dinner.
I mean this sincerely. I mean, does it bother you that this is happening at the same time that these nation states are also trying to curry favor with Trump himself?
Well, it doesn't really bother me that people are in business for years, then their dad gets elected president, and then they continue to go on in business. We knew we were electing a businessman president. We knew his family was in business. So I think the American people have full visibility into that. Number 2.
But we're talking about new deals here, not existing
well, they're business
deals.
people. They're cutting deals all the time.
You're okay with them cutting deals while Trump is sitting in the White House when he's going over there
countries that
to
are
negotiate
actively
with them?
doing negotiations with
They're negotiating with every country in the world every day. Well, let me answer your question, the specific criticism about Hunter Biden. All the things.
Oh, Hunter Biden. He's our boy Ken Jennings or whatever is talking about my boy Biden. All right, let's take a look.
You just mentioned towers, golf courses, hotels, resorts, tangible things. You do something. Money exchanges hands. A service is provided. A tower is built. A golf course is developed. Can you name one tangible service other than finger paintings that Hunter Biden provided for any money that changed hands? You cannot. You cannot.
I think it's a fair critique of the Hunter Biden of it all. But you're not addressing the fact that in all of these countries, in order to do.
Hunter Biden's innocent. Hunter Biden, oh my God, he's awful. Anyways, keep going.
Of these things, they have to go to the political leadership of the countries to get them approved. That doesn't address that at all.
Abby, at 10:07, Scott was telling me how the biggest modern day conspiracy we've had in terms of a president scandal was Joe Biden and his health. And he said that, and then he criticized Chuck Schumer, right, about the fact that he didn't have.
Where's the part where Kevin? Hold on.
He wanted to tell Trump Jr. mediocre is, and what I'm saying is that now they are.
Okay, I think we're at the part where Kevin O'Leary starts lashing out at everybody, saying you're all gay. Why are you gay? But let's take a look here. Tim Smith, what do you say, my G-Dog? If I could, then I would. Tiffany says, how do you know she was a willing participant? I don't know. I have my guesses. How do you know she was a victim? You know what I mean? Everybody's assuming that she was a victim. Well, if you can assume that she's a victim, then other people can also assume that she might have been a willing participant too. With a lack of evidence or a lot of evidence, you just make your own conclusions. I'm not saying, the courts will figure out what they figure out based on the evidence presented. Turburglar said, that's the word I was searching for. Tekken Rep says, I think Diddy was innocent. Kanye said Diddy is innocent. Ray Oid says, I meant abused. Tim Smith asks, is this the trial where Amber Heard poos the bed? What's up? Is this Minecraft? I wish. Let's see. Yeah, I think this might be the one where she poos the bed, and Kevin O'Leary's going to take a shit on this desk. That's my prediction. What do you guys think? You guys think Kevin O'Leary's going to take a fat shit on this? Before we watch, let's take a look at the poll. The poll, we have 94 votes. Is Diddy being wrongfully accused? 94 votes. 18% of you say yes. 78% of you say hell no. Hell no. And then, what's the other amount here? 4% of you say I am a pussy and refuse to take sides. All right. That's fair. That's fair. All right. Shall we begin?
Different direction.
Please.
Just for a moment.
No, guide me. I'm blind.
What
Guide me.
does this have to do with Middle East policy? Please, just a moment.
Oh, no,
What,
please.
excuse me.
Oh, yes,
What does
excuse
this
me.
have to do with the fact that he is trying to create a circle of friendship with the fastest growing geographies in the world before China does?
But wait a second.
Wait, let me finish.
Well,
on this trip, I just want to introduce an idea. This has nothing to do with policy.
Go ahead. Unlock the
What does this have to do with policy?
The one thing that I've heard for the last 4 or 5 years is anytime anyone had any criticism of the United States foreign policy in Gaza or whatever, is that these people would be being paid by a resource-rich government that propped up and funded terrorism, which was over in Qatar. Every single time. They were buying influence in Ivy League schools. They were buying influence in social media. They were buying influence everywhere. So anytime you saw somebody
You wanna
that
push these
you
countries away. You
were
wanna
saying
push
that
these-
anytime somebody was thought to have any dealings with the Qataris, they were thought as being intellectually and morally tainted. Except the President of the United States, who takes a $400 million plane from them, literally is refurbishing it to be Air Force.
Who cares about the plane? What does that have to do with the fact?
Because it's
You got it.
Wait a second.
You know what?
I don't get it. Why focus on something that is irrelevant to the policy?
It's
of the
not
region?
irrelevant.
It's completely irrelevant.
How is it irrelevant?
Would you rather have the Chinese there? Would you rather have them there?
Kevin, the United States Constitution
It's irrelevant.
would like to have a word. The United States Constitution would like to have a word. That's why people care,
Yeah,
right?
people care
because
because
the
of the
reason that that's in the Constitution is to prevent the President of the United States from
I'm a little confused as to what's going on. Are they mad that Trump's like refitting a plane or something? I'm still having a little trouble understanding. Maybe I'm too retarded. Trying to keep up.
accepting things
What's
that
the
are
goal
being
of the trip?
that are being perceived as bribes.
What is the national
The goal of the
interest this
trip is not to get a giant gift that he can say belongs to him as president, but then he takes with him when he leaves the office.
Abby, you have
That's
to
not-
distance yourself from Trump derangement syndrome. It's irrelevant to policy. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
What matters
Kevin,
is, why are all these AI guys
Have
on this
you
trip?
heard of the emoluments clause?
Wait. Why do you have all the leaders?
Kevin, no, seriously, it's a serious question. Have you heard of the emoluments clause? Do you understand that that is in the Constitution?
He doesn't. No.
And do
listen,
you understand that even if you
I
think
don't-
that maybe it might be
debating how many
okay,
fairies
it's
dance on a
still,
pin
it's
does
still
not do
legally
policy.
incredibly dubious.
So let me
you
ask you a
realize
question.
That, right?
So can I, so, I'm sorry.
Hold on.
I'm
Let me
hearing.
just, but Kevin doesn't operate by the same morals and ethics and values that we're
I'm
talking
above
about.
that. I focus
because
on
you're
policy.
so rich, you get to be above it. That's
It's nothing to
lovely.
do with wealth. It's policy, policy.
No, but here's the point about the policy. Let me make one point, fellas. Whew. If someone is willing to take a 400.
I don't know about this, man. I'm naturally inclined to side with Kevin O'Leary because he's usually in my opinion, the more sane voice in the room when it comes to CNN panelists. I don't watch a lot of CNN. I never watch CNN. That's the thing. Yeah. I watch a few clips every now and then, and I'm like, yeah, these guys are dumb.
$1 million plane from a government that the kinds of things that Van was talking about, people have said, even Ted Cruz had some issues with this. What else is he willing to do? And you know, Scott, you're talking about these tangible things. Meme
they're business people.
Meme coins are not tangible. They're nothing. Cryptocurrency is nothing. There is a bidding war going on right now with governments and countries and companies. We have no idea what their alignments are to buy enough meme coins to buy access to our
There's a story tonight in the New York Times about
I'm
a very mysterious company that bought hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Trump meme coins with links to China. So, I mean, there are some real questions and concerns about the money that is being made here.
The emoluments thing you raised, I mean, it's a good question. It's a legitimate debating point, and I assume it'll ultimately be tested in court. The administration has a point of view on it. I assume they're going to be sued, or I don't know how you would get it into court on this, but my assumption is ultimately the Supreme Court is the only people who can give us some arbitration on this, so I assume that's where it's headed.
Crazy, man. Well, I didn't get as much out of that as I thought, you know. I didn't get as hard as I expected I would, but that's okay. Love you, Kevin O'Leary. Kevin O'Leary is quoted as saying, very famous quote. Well, I won't say famous, but it's a quote I think of quite a bit when I'm investing in individual businesses. What he said, he got burned on a lot of investments, right? He got burned on some shitty investments. And one day, he grew a little Charlie Munger on his shoulder. And that little Charlie Munger told him, if there ain't no cash flow, just say no. If there ain't no cash flow, just say no. Basically, look for companies that already have proven cash flows, even if you have to pay a little bit more to get to them. Get ownership of them, and then just hold. That's really about it. Don't go into penny stocks. Penny stocks are stupid. It's for morons. Let's see what else we got here. Let's look at more Diddy. Yeah, we're gotta look at more Diddy, man. Man, this is a huge turnout for the lives. That's 31 minutes. That's too long. I want to find something short, sweet, and to the point. Oh, dude, Diddy's got a YouTube page. Oh, man, I want to see the comments on these so bad. No way. That's so funny. The Didster, dude. Let's see. Extra TV. An awkward Cassie interview. Let's watch.
Ex, Cassie Ventura, who is 9 months pregnant, was on the stand for the second day in a row. The jury was shown photos of past injuries. She also testified the freak-offs left her with sores, frequent UTIs, and stomach problems.
I think we might have already watched this. Hold on. What else we got for the Didster? Diddy trial AI. No way. So basically, I think they had AI generate what the trial looked like based on the transcripts, I'm assuming. And possibly these fucking terrible paintings. Oh, those paintings are terrible. How bad are those paintings? Just really bad. Prosecutors finished questioning Cassie Ventura and Sean Diddy. Yeah, let's take a look here. It's 2 hours.
Prosecutors have finished their questioning of Sean Diddy Combs' ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in the hip-hop mogul's sex trafficking and racketeering trial in New York City. We want to warn viewers that some may find the details in this report disturbing. The singer says she felt, quote, trapped during one incident she described on the stand. Ventura claims that Combs allegedly threatened to blackmail her with videos from the so-called freak-offs after he found out that she was dating rapper Kid Cudi during a...
Well, I'll tell you this. I still think both were willing participants. I mean, look, there's a possibility that she's more of a victim than a willing participant. I grant you that. I just think that all the people that hung out with Diddy, including slept with Diddy and were in relationships with Diddy, were probably not the best kind of people to be around anyway, including her. I think they're all guilty, if we're going to be quite honest. I kind of want to put a blanket on it and just say, you're all guilty. But that's my opinion. And I don't ever want to be a judge. I like to judge, but I don't want to be a judge. I don't want to have the final judgment. Gifts from a foreign country is the problem. They say you bias is against it. Kevin is making himself look like a jackass. Lil, can you name one Diddy song? We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now. Because we bad boys for life. Isn't Diddy in the Bad Boys for Life song? I thought he was.
Break from their 10-year relationship in 2011. The 38-year-old singer also addressed the physical abuse she claims she sustained, including incidents that left her with bruises and a permanent eyebrow scar. Ventura also described an alleged violent encounter with Combs that occurred at the late singer Prince's house. The defense...
Prince was involved? Don't tell me Prince was doing shit. Oh, no. Do you think Prince was doing freak-offs with Diddy? Oh, man. First LeBron, now Prince? This is news to me. Prince was at the freak-offs? Was he? Man, we're really digging a really huge hole here.
Will begin its cross-examination of Ventura on Thursday. Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges, including racketeering, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. If convicted, he faces up to life in prison. For more, let's bring in CBS News national correspondent Drika Duncan, who was inside the courtroom. Drika, thank you for being here. Very graphic testimony again today.
Yeah.
And we did hear testimony about that incident
So she wasn't a victim.
Many people have seen now, the 2016 hotel altercation that took place at the
S47 says, so she wasn't a victim to sex crimes until the trial came out. Now she's airing everything out. Yeah, here's the thing, man. I just have a bit of a problem believing that she wasn't complicit in some of this, that she didn't get a thrill out of this. I mean, I'm not going to lie. If I were dating P. Diddy, that would probably be a very exciting, crazy life. Would it be perfect? No. And in fact, Diddy is a terrible person. Granted, I think there's a mixture of things. Do I think she's a bit of a victim in this instance? Yes. But I do believe that a lot of the time she was a willing participant and was excited by all this. I think they were both freaks. In the sense that they wanted to do creepy, crazy, freaky sexual shit. That's what I'm trying to say.
Continental in Los Angeles. Cassie says after that she told Combs, quote, please stay far away from me. Last half of her testimony Wednesday focused on how she handled the alleged abuse. What do you want to tell us?
So as far as how we even got here, we really learned that last like 5 minutes or so where she describes 2023 being a time where she went to rehab. She said this was after an incident where she said, I didn't want to be alive. This is her words. I didn't want to be alive at this point. She was shooting a music video, and she said she thought back to what she said she experienced, and she had these flashbacks. She says, I remember coming home to my children and my husband and looking at my husband and saying, you can do this.
Looking at your husband and your daughter and be like, dude, I was a fucking hoe, and I was hoeing out with Diddy too much. I gotta stop hanging out with that guy. Glad I did. Look, I can understand if somebody wants to change their ways, they do some regrettable things when they're younger. That makes sense. It really does. How guilty is she, though, in this? I really still don't know. It's tough to say. I don't think she's a full victim. I really do believe that she participated in the freak-offs, maybe not always willingly, but I do believe that there was, I don't know. It's tough to say whether she was a willing participant or a victim. We just don't know. Anybody can say they're a victim. Oh, I was brutalized, I was victimized, and you're supposed to believe me because believe the victim, even though there's no proof. Now, there's actually a lot of proof that Diddy's an abusive asshole, obviously. But I do believe that went on too long. Went on far too long.
This without me.
That is not a flattering photo, but picture. So those court drawings, by the way, I don't know who's doing the court drawings at all. Those court drawings suck so bad. So fucking bad. Those are terrible. Those are bad. please like the video. All right. She was 19. He was 37. She didn't have anything, and he was super rich over time. He started to physically abuse her. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, like, look. Does he have a good chance of getting an innocent verdict? I don't know. Sure Knight said Diddy would be okay. I don't know. I thought he'd be good. Let's take a look here.
She describes walking into traffic. She then says through the rehab she started writing. And when she was finished with all of the writing, she had a book. Because she had this book, she said, you know what? I wanted to share it with Sean Combs. I wanted him to, quote, understand what he put me through. She said in court, I was 22. I would have done anything for him. I did, but it just seemed like it wasn't enough. So she reached out to the chief of staff of Sean Combs, according to Ventura, and that chief of staff told her that Combs was not taking this book seriously. She then said that she was offering the rights to her story for $30 million. She said, quote, I didn't do research. I just picked a number I thought would alert him. And then, as many of us now know, November 2023 comes, this lawsuit that had many people going, oh my gosh, wait, what is going on here? And so many details were put out in that civil suit. It was settled within 24 hours. We learned today in court, the prosecution said, and how much was that settlement for? She said $20 million. And then the prosecutor asked her why.
20 million. Jeez. This is crazy, man. She sounds like she said she was trying to sell the rights to the book. Was she trying to sell the rights to the book to Diddy so she could get some money out? Dude, I don't know. That sounds like extortion. Oh my God. Her and Diddy are both like two peas in a pod. They're both terrible people and they like to extort people. Oh, wow. Yeah, she's both are guilty. Diddy's guilty. Cassie's guilty. I've made my verdict. Here's my hammer, by the way. Both are guilty. That's my hammer. That's what I think, at least. Well, you guys want me to do the gavel one more time?
Why are you testifying at this trial? She said, quote, I can't carry this anymore. The shame, the guilt, the pain. What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong.
What's right is right.
She had said on the stand that she had become addicted to
What's
opioids
wrong
to sort of
is wrong.
disassociate from what she had experienced, right?
Yeah, specifically, she did say that she had an on and off again opiate addiction. So she didn't put all of the blame, I guess, if you will, on Sean Combs in terms of providing the drugs to her all the time, because she admitted that there were times where she would just, use drugs with her friends and Combs was not around. But that seems to be...
Oh, hold on. There's a birthday in the house. Hold on. Hello, it's my brother. It's my brother Dylan Doe's birthday, but he goes by Dill. Can you say happy birthday, Dildo? Happy birthday, Dildo. I hope you have a good birthday, man.
Some of the source of the pain that she's talking about that she experienced during the course of that nearly 11-year relationship.
We know this case is about an alleged criminal enterprise
Right.
fueled by Combs' alleged sexual desires. What, if anything, did we learn that speaks to that?
Diddy's into a lot of weird shit, dude. I thought I was a freak, but man, Diddy's this is abusive mentally and physically and emotionally. Yep, absolutely. She ain't innocent. I think her and the Didster are both guilty of doing some freak off shit. S47 says, lol, she can't continue to live with herself, but she could if Diddler bought the rights. That is crazy to me. Why would she? Of course, because here's the thing. She wanted money. This is what this is all about. This is about the money. The Diddler did not buy the rights to the book for $30 million. She just wanted free money. That's what she wanted. I think that she's a snake, just like Diddy. Cassie and Diddy are both snakes, in my opinion. That's all I feel right now. Both a couple of frickin' snakes, dude.
Yeah, so RICO, racketeering, influence of corrupt organization, has to do with someone leading a criminal enterprise and other people also being a part of that for whatever that criminal act is. In this case, they were it states in the indictment, to pursue his sexual desires through fraud, coercion, and threatening someone. So kidnapping is sort of one of those. It falls in the element of that. And we heard that based on her testimony.
Shout
when
out,
she
Dildo.
says in 2009,
Chew, gotta pay
she
beach.
got into a fight with Combs. Her mother actually said, I saw something on the internet about this. She knew, you know, Combs was important in her life, even at that point. She said, is this you? And Ventura says no. She denied it. But she said during that time, she was forced to be in a hotel for about a week, and she couldn't leave. She said, I wanted to go home. I told Sean I wanted to go home, as she refers to him in court. I told some of his handlers I wanted to go home, but they said I had to stay there. So you have that as a potential element that prosecutors will look at that when they probably do their closing argument. And then fraud, the prescription drug, she expressed that.
Here's the
Combs
thing,
knew
though. She already said everything that you need to know about her. She was willing to take $30 million to not put the book out, basically. And be like, here, you can have the book, Diddy. You don't have to put it out. You don't have to ruin your image. As long as I get $30 million. Wow. That's scumbag. I think she's a scumbag. I think she liked participating in those Diddy parties. I'm starting to wonder. This is all allegedly, by the way. This is my opinion. I think they're both sick and twisted fucks. I think they're sick people, and they're both guilty. That's what I think. And the fact of the matter is, I don't think she's that much of a victim if she's willing to claim that her rapist, Diddy in this instance, if she was willing to sell the rights to the book for $30 million to him to do whatever he wanted with it, to keep it quiet, to do whatever. That's insane. It sounds kind of like extortion. And either way, both are terrible people. Both are sick, twisted pieces of shit. And they suck. Tim Smith is asking, are the Island Boys involved in this? I wouldn't be shocked. I wonder if Diddy actually ever had the Island Boys over for a couple drinks. I'd have the Island Boys are pretty good lads. They both are nasty. God dang it. Hold on. That scrolly wheel's not working. S211 says, they call my daughter the throat goat at her high school. Should I be concerned? Yeah, you're probably not a good dad if she's doing that. I don't know.
Had a good relationship with doctors, and whether it was his name or her name or other employees that they would write the prescription for, because obviously it's a red flag if a doctor continues to write prescriptions.
Absolutely, there are more of them like Oprah,
or
Ellen, Jay-Z,
whatever
and
it is for the same person. So that kind of was a hint to me to one of the elements, because we've heard about the abuse, but it really comes down to this crime, and we expect the defense will be questioning her about what they claim in the opening of their statements, that this was a toxic relationship. This was not criminal. But also,
it was a toxic relationship. Very much so. I think they're both toxic people. I think Cassie's a clout chaser just like me. I'm clout chasing Diddy right now. I'm doing a video on Diddy specifically. I'm clout chasing Diddy's mussy. All right. She was clout chasing Diddy's mussy as well. We're all guilty here. We're all guilty of clout chasing.
So is it part of the racketeering case that she testified to the fact that employees and people around him were complicit and aiding in this alleged behavior?
100%. I mean, she names a guy, D-Rock, who was with security, who cried, she said, when she was just beat up by Combs and he found her. She talks about a woman who brought her ice cream because she felt bad after a beating. So she's naming a number of people within his staff that she says she was familiar with.
Absolutely, dude. Diddy needs to full on embrace this. Diddy could launch his own baby oil line, make a fortune. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah.
and helping to keep things hush hush that others knew had to do more with the domestic violence, but knew that that was happening.
Cross-examination tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be
Okay.
interesting. It's a really, really tough case to listen to, but here we are.
Jerika Duncan, thank you.
Well, we all love the Didster. This is crazy. This is wild. They call me witty. P. Diddy. S47 says, I seriously doubt that anyone on Diddy's payroll had enough empathy to cry. Yeah. I can see that, man. Dude, this whole thing is just so fucking crazy. This is insane, brother. Trying to get to the bottom of the Diddy shit, but... That suit's fucking tight, dude. What is the latest in the Diddy situation?
We have some breaking news. A jury will not be picked today in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. Court started
No
this morning,
jury?
45.
That is so crazy to me that the Diddy freak-off video will only be shown to the jury. I think the world needs to see these freak-off videos. We need to see who was involved. We need to see if what LeBron was doing. I know LeBron was in on it. Diddy. And the kids make it bad. I think bro envies Diddy. Damn, I wish that was me. Damn, dude, the Didster. I'm just jealous that Cassie got to coordinate the freak-offs, dude. Lucky girl. I heard Diddy likes them white boys, though, so maybe I got a chance. And I got a good voice. I kind of got Bieber vibes, so... I was like Diddy, 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 oh, like Diddy, 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 oh, like Diddy. We need some more Diddy freak-offs. Do they call me pedo? These freak-offs are too much for my baby oil. What the hell? Okay, hold on.
So in May of 2018,
Let's just read the. Hold on. Trump hotel shooter. Diddy paid me for sex. What? So the Trump hotel shooter is claiming that Diddy paid him for sex.
A man named Jonathan Odie opened fire at Donald Trump's Miami golf course and was shot and arrested by police. Now, Odie said that he was in the middle of a bipolar episode. That's where it gets interesting. Later, while being questioned by Florida authorities, Odie brought up something totally unexpected. He claimed that he'd been a sex slave for Sean Diddy Combs and Cassie Ventura. This video is courtesy of Real World Media. Take a look.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate, tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard lots of business. Because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a sex slave.
So at the time, Odie...
Even Diddy's like, dude, I don't know who this guy is. Even Diddy don't know who this guy is. What the hell? What the fuck did I just watch? That guy was like a sex slave to Diddy? I don't even know what's going on anymore, you guys. Jesus. This, the more you go down the Diddy rabbit hole, the more weird and depressing this shit gets.
These stories seemed too far-fetched to believe, but not anymore. And now, in an exclusive interview, Odie opens up to News Nation senior producer Allison Weiner about his claims, beginning with why he's agreed to talk now. Listen to this.
I felt bad because I got along well with her, and I think she's a decent person. And unfortunately, I had a suspicion that she was in a situation that she was in, but I wasn't sure. And now I understand.
I think this guy's just a crazy dude.
In my life and what was happening. And him beating her up in the hotel shows me the type of individual he is.
Oh, he said this all 11 years ago. Shit. Okay, you know what? Maybe this guy was a part of Diddy's life. Holy shit, man. This guy, this former male dancer, says Diddy liked to watch. That's pretty sexy.
In line with his personality.
So speaking to us from a Miami jail now, here is how Odie says it all began for him.
I was a male Chippendale, a model Chippendale, you could say. And they called me for a show they called me the agency that I work for to do a show. And then I went and did a show, and things led to them offering me more money to perform sexual acts. And that's it. That's how I basically got started. I get dressed like a police officer, I do a show, I do a strip down, and then, they offer me some more money. They offer me some more money to do some extra stuff.
So Odie did get specific about the extra stuff that he says Diddy wanted from him, and these specifics were consistent with what he told law enforcement during the 2014 interrogation. Here is how he describes the atmosphere and how frequently it happened.
Candles, sensual atmosphere, lights off. He would sit in a corner in a sofa, watch and masturbate, and he'd say, he'd tell her, give her instructions what to do to me. Perform oral sex, rub baby oil, then he'd tell me rub baby on her, perform oral sex, and then have sex.
How many times did you have sex with Cassie?
Probably like 15 sessions.
And what did
You banged Cassie 15 times? Damn, dude. This guy's just banging everybody. He's probably banging Diddy. This guy, what is going on? Oh, wow. Okay. This is interesting. Breaking news. I'm Stickin' says Cassie mentioned him as an escort today in court. Cindy Boyd says Bieber is supposed to testify. Wasn't Trump at one of those? You, hell no, you don't. Imagine all the good music that could have been created. This guy destroyed my genre. I'm speechless. For the first time in a while, I got nothing to say. I usually say too much. Thank you, Victoria. Hello to you as well. I need a second to process all this. I'm going to step away. I want to make one more sandwich. I want to contemplate what's going on. Just give me one moment, folks. One moment. It's crazy, you guys. Crazy. Man. I'm new here, just tuned in. Oh no. Oh God. This is how I feel about this, man. When somebody says that they're underage on my show, this is how this feels. We're gonna react to this video. It's a pretty funny video. You guys are gonna enjoy this one.
Right. All right. I guess I'll be out here. I have everything. Cookies look great. Can I help you with something? I'm having cookies.
You're having cookies?
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
I was online and I found a friend.
A friend?
Cookie?
No, I'm good.
I don't know how. I don't know how he does this. This is top tier acting, by the way. This deserves an Oscar.
Good, thank you. And how old is this friend exactly? How old? 13. Why did you think it was appropriate to come into this house in a beautiful suburb in Long Island to try to have an inappropriate relationship with a girl you thought was 13?
Well, who the hell are you?
Well, who are you?
What's in the bag? It was a friend that
What's in the bag?
Well, I got some Seagram's Escapes.
So you thought that was okay to bring to a 13-year-old girl? Seagram's Escapes with alcohol.
What would you rather think? Scotch? Yeah, of course, Seagram's Escapes.
Anthony.
Yeah.
I know about your background.
This is pretty funny.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I was a shock jock, I guess, until now. Thanks. This kind of ruins the whole thing.
How did that work out for you?
Not too good. Not too good. I ended up getting fired. Not for what you think.
Well, what am I supposed to make of this?
Look, this is very embarrassing.
Well, it should be, don't you think?
Well, yeah, but look, I have a life, I have a family, Please, is there any way we can just not do this anymore?
Anthony, there's something you need to know.
What's that?
I'm Chris Hansen.
What?
And we're investigating grown men who try to have sex with young children. And you just walked into
that hand slap right there. Still freaking funny.
Hansen versus Predator.
Damn it!
Why don't you have a seat right over there?
Oh man,
Right
he
over
just
there.
told me
Come
to
on.
have a seat.
Go ahead.
Oh man, he just told me to have a seat. That's the best part about that video, man. The acting in that, both Anthony and Chris deserve Academy Awards for that acting. It was beautiful. It's too funny though.
Have a seat
This
right
is
over there.
not good.
I'm going to sit down right next to you.
Chris. I gotta tell you, that's frightening. That is frightening.
Good to see
Chris
you, my friend.
Hansen.
Anthony, good to see you.
Pleasure to have you, Cookie. Pleasure to have you as a guest on the show today.
That is awesome though, man. That's too funny. That's one of my favorite clips though, man. Got a little OJ in me. Jack the Gamer says Chris Hansen, and this is on How to Catch a Predator. Googly says, I want a Greg Sokol pizza now. I don't know what that means. I don't know what any of that means, but hold on one moment. Put a little more light in here. Hold on. Okay, let's see here. Tim Smith. Tim Smith says, no need to take a vacation. I'm just cracking open a box of Seagram's Escapes. Smart man. S47 says, bro, go watch Dave Chappelle heisting SNL Diddy jokes. Hell yeah. Hosting them out. Yeah. Adam Timmons says, what's the nutritional value of baby oil? It's as much as you need it to be, man. It's as much as you need it to be. I don't know. It's it's whatever it's supposed to be. Let's see. Jack the Gamer says, I may be technically 12, but I know how to type in 2 different languages. That's pretty dope, man. Good for you, G-Dog. Get it. You should not be watching my show. Jack the Gamer, just as a warning, you should not be watching my show if you're that... Ask your parents' permission. Do not watch this show. It's a bad show for kids. You got to be 18 or over, in my opinion, to watch the show. Do whatever you want. You do what you want because a pirate is free. You are a pirate. Chappelle is the only way SNL is bearable. I can understand that. Oh shit, dude. You know what? I love watching Chris Hansen videos, man. They're the best. Damn, well, I'm already traumatized, so. Well, it's a screwed up, screwed up show. It's not that bad. This show's pretty tame compared to most shows on YouTube. But damn, dude, some of the shit. Ryan Katsu Rivera. Hell yeah. See what's going on in the world of the YouTubes. I'm Chris Hansen, Dateline NBC. William says, says I am on the side of 6 opulences until further notice. 6 opulences until further notice. Bro, mostly brain rot shit. I gotta go. Bye. Have fun, G-Dog. You should not be... Look at Jack the Gamer. You're like 12 years old. You should not be watching this show. Tell your parents... Actually, tell your parents to watch my show. They might like it. Let's see. It says I am on the side of 6 opulences until further notice. Let's see here. What else are we going to look at on the YouTubes? Sammy Hagar, huh? Oh, what a beast. This is kind of a cool one. 50 minimalist rules that changed my life. I will admit, I love videos like this because it does inspire me to kind of minimize. You know, let's give a little commentary on this minimalist video. I'm not going to watch the whole thing, just watch a little bit of it. But this guy, I discovered him some time ago.
The 2-day rule. I originally learned this from somebody who was on like Matt DiVella's podcast. I think like 5.
Oh, Tim Smith says react to Asmongold. Some people deserve to be broke. Okay. I mean, fuck it. Why not? I'm kind of curious what that opinion is. Let's see. I'm always interested in a Asmongold video. He's an interesting fella. All right, let's take a look here.
Michelle and Stephanie, a Zoomer lesbian couple who have had some debt problems. They clear about $7,200 a month, which is, by the way, almost $100,000 a year. And
almost $100,000 a year, and you have that much debt problems?
Are behind.
What? Here's the thing, man. I don't understand how, because like the thing is, the more money I make, the more I invest. You know what I mean? Because the more paranoid I am about losing that source of income. And in fact, if anything, I buckle down and I invest more, mainly because I believe income is the outcome. So more money I make, more I'm investing, and then more dividends I get for the rest of my life. Hell yeah. I love investing. Just in case you all didn't know, I'm obsessed, and maybe I am stereotypically Jewish.
On their student loans. You might ask, why can't they pay their student loans? Well, we're going to cover it.
For context, this is a segment from Caleb's channel, famous for his financial audit series. This couple asked for help after amassing more and more debts and being unable to pay back their student loans, even though they make about $100K a year.
Yeah,
That's insane.
They can't pay $162?
You make $7,000 a month net. This is literally 2.3% of your net income. 2.3%. You couldn't make.
Wow.
Not at the time.
How much was spent this last month, guys?
I would say
like
probably
10,000?
10,000. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, we did buy a couple things.
10,000 in a month. Oh. This is why I can't watch those Caleb Hammer financial audits. My generation is too stupid with money. I was going to say my generation and along with Gen Z. Like, the problem is they're so image-centric that all they want to spend their money on is things that'll make them appear to be doing well, when in all reality, they're not doing well. The only person who should know that you're doing well is yourself. Most people think I'm on meth. Most people think I'm on drugs. I'm happy about that. I would rather people think I'm on drugs. It's a lot easier because nobody suspects that I have anything. It's awesome. I know I'm rich, and that's fine by me. I know I make a lot of money, but nobody else needs to know. Nobody.
Things.
Here we go.
So in November, we found out that Disney was dropping their annual pass.
Why am I not surprised?
Come on.
When I was in nursing school, we said...
You're talking about Disney right now?
Yes.
We're having a conversation about Mickey and his little mouse? What are we doing?
Well, it was I told myself it would be my treat for, like, finishing nursing school.
You don't get treats if you're not paying your fucking bills.
Here's the thing, too. If you're making...
I agree with Caleb Hammer on this one. You got to get your shit in order. You got to get your shit in order. You should also not be going into debt for vacations. I think going into debt for vacations is probably the stupidest thing anybody could do. Hi, react to store crossing content. I don't care. What are you even saying? You are not rich, bro. You got your computer in your kitchen. Dude, here's the thing, man. Check it. The problem with you is that you believe that wealth is about the flashy things that you have or the big mansions that you own or the fancy cars that you own. But real wealth is silent. Real wealth is investments. I can guarantee you my net worth, if we were actually to compare sizes, your cock is bigger than mine. But your net worth is definitely smaller than mine. Like I said, you have a bigger penis than I do, check it out TV. But you don't have a bigger net worth than I do. I may have a 1-incher and you may have a 7-incher, but goddamn, do I know that my net worth is bigger than yours. Let's keep going. I love you, bro. I'm autistic too. It's okay, man. Hey, autistic bronies, dude. Hell yeah. Wealth is about getting time, freedom. Exactly. Investing is what I do. And the money I get from my investments gives me an erection.
How much money? Shouldn't you have money to do both things?
So the passes were $2,000.
For the both of us.
What?
For both of us.
For fucking what? So you're getting places to live? Does it cover the place to live when you're there?
Nope. No, we just get a hotel.
So you're spending money to spend more money?
Yes.
You're not paying on your student loans.
This is crazy.
Personal loan, what's it for? $21,463 at 8%. What is this possibly for? You're going to Disney when we have an 8% $22,000 loan?
Wait a minute. So they bought the flight on credit too? 624. They got first class. They went first class. I didn't even realize that.
Starbucks, Ship Store, Seasonal Marketplace.
Those are all at Disney.
Anaheim. Were you just at Disney?
We went to Disney and once in November.
That's just crazy. I only said that because you said you'd rather look like a meth head. That's easier, man. I mean, honestly, it's easier to look bad than it is to look good. I would rather just know that I'm a decent person than actually look like a decent person. You know? Looking and being are two separate things, shockingly. And to be honest, I dress like a fairly normal person. I usually dress like I feel like I dress like Jeff Bezos, the Amazon guy. You still dating your girl? Absolutely. I love my lady. Now, I'm glad that she loves me, even though I've got my flaws. But, yeah. When I first joined your lives, I thought you looked like a really smart, nice guy. I appreciate it. Thank you, S47. Yeah, I appreciate it. You still dating your? Yep, absolutely. Damn straight.
And then we went a couple weeks ago.
Are you f***ing kidding me? Are you guys?
Oh shit. Oh shit. Like, oh my god. Heart. We just got 99 cents from Purple GT, dude. We just got 99 motherfucking cents, dude. Yeah. Then I learned you were from Oregon, and I was a little worried. Then I learned you were a Trump supporter, and I was on board. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Dudes, 99 cent for super chat for Purple GT. Thank you, Purple GT, for the 99 cents. I'm going to keep that up for a bit. Make sure you guys subscribe to Purple GT for being such a sweetheart.
It's like literal creatures.
I'm going twice in January.
Some people deserve to be broke. I mean, I don't know, man.
I can these gals deserve to be broke. If you're just spending all your money at fucking Disney World all the time, you're ugh. Like an NPC. What do you mean like an NPC? Non-playable character? Whose footprints are these? Whose footprints are these? I'm trying to look like a robot, actually, and not like a non-playable character. I'm trying malfunctioning. Let's keep going. All right.
Listen, Jen, what the f are you guys? Do you care? Do you care? What do you care about other than going to Disney? Look at this, you just spent
Dude, Caleb Hammer's crashing out. He's crashing out hard, dude. He's like, dude, it really blows my mind. Anybody who can make $100,000 a year and still be flat broke just because they're just spending their money on stupid shit.
Oh, God.
Disney.
Disney makes money off of these woke girls. S47 says, bro, I watch police interrogation vids, and the cases in Oregon are pretty crazy. There are like 5 people living in one house having... Oh, jeez. Pirate sex parties. What the fuck? Wait, that happens in Oregon? That's crazy. Well, I mean, I don't really... Oh, where they meet up and have cosplay sex parties all dressed up and acting like pirate. Oh, okay. Interesting.
And then Wendy's.
Of course. And Wendy's.
What is your philosophy on this? Just is it an entitlement thing? You deserve to do all this stuff, even though you are not in a position to afford it? To Disney's next month? What the actual rich people don't do that? $1,000 on just being at Disney.
I mean,
I will say that is true. He is right. Rich people do not spend money like that on Disney. I don't know what it is, but if you're poor, you tend to go to... You tend to spend your money recklessly. You can make all the money in the world. You can make $100,000. You can make $200,000. But if you're just spending it on bullshit and you're not investing any of it and you're still working, I think if you're still working, you're still a slave. Seriously. And I don't mind admitting that I'm a bit of a slave because I still work a normal job. But the best way to get out of it is to keep investing. That's the way I do it.
I mean...
For one day.
$1,000 a day.
$1,000 for a day. You make $7 a month net, and you blew through a seventh of it in a day.
10 minutes in, he argues with them canceling future trips, which they have four future trips planned.
Well, it gives us points to go towards free rooms.
Oh my God! We have to spend more money.
And this is the
because if
thing.
we spend more money.
This is something I say constantly. The best cashback reward is the cash that you don't spend. I repeat, the best cashback reward, even though I love cashback reward credit cards, by the way, but the best cashback rewards that you could ever get are the cash that you don't spend on stupid shit. Basically, just don't spend money on stupid shit. Simple as that. But people are buying all sorts of dumb shit and justifying it, by the way. Like, I need this. It makes me feel better. No, I think you need a therapist because you're only filling your life with you're trying to fill the void with stuff, and it doesn't make you any happier. My mom had tried doing this for a long time. That's why she had a lot of stuff. That's why my dad does it, because they both have holes in their souls that they try to fill with pointless shit. So, anyway, that's a bit of a judgment on my end, but I don't care. People have judged me my whole life, including my parents, so I have no problem judging them.
Then we're actually saving money because we get points on this.
You're unmovable on this.
Hold on. Let's see. When will you start gym? When will I start going to the gym, or when will I start a gym? I don't know. Neither. I'm just gonna keep trying pull-ups on my pull-up bar. Oregon is wild from my vantage point. You might enjoy watching police interrogation videos. I can't stand watching people get interrogated, man. I don't know how people do that. Knives and Pizza says, so who's the best kisser in this stream? That's a good question. My hunch, I'm just going to say this right now because Tim Smith is the man, and he's Canadian. He might be a French Canadian. I don't know if Tim has some French Canadian roots, but I bet Tim is. Crunch says, tell me some investment that does not involve interest. What do you mean an investment that doesn't involve interest? Are you talking about an investment that doesn't give you something for owning it? I don't know what you're talking about, man. Money saved is money earned. Okay, here's the thing. Money saved, actually, if you're just saving your money, if you're just stashing it away, and you're not investing it into, if you're not trading your money away for real investments, you're wasting money, because the government can print money and create inflation. It makes everything more expensive. So honestly, money invested is eventual income earned. That should be the correction to your statement, Crunch. Guy with 10 fingers says, save your money, don't donate to those losers on YouTube Live. Absolutely, you should not be giving me money on YouTube Live. I mean, as much as I love the super chats, by the way, I love super chats and I'm gay for them. But no, don't save your money, invest your money. Invest in actual assets. That's the thing. Saving is for losers. Don't save money. Invest your money. Invest it in real assets. Stocks, commodities, bonds, even though bonds are not very inflation proof, but it's something. But savings accounts are stupid in my opinion. That's just my opinion though. Yager says I'm damn good. Hell yeah, dude. Yagers. S47 says I'm getting really worried about my savings. I need to start investing. Finding your stream was a blessing. Thank you, S47. I mean, honestly, investing is very simple. My philosophy is save your assets, not your money. I repeat, save your assets, not your money. The most important thing is not to collect dollars. Collecting dollars and saving dollars is stupid. But trading your dollars for investments like stocks, bonds, anything really, as long as you're diversified and you can have a diversified portfolio of assets, you're pretty much good. Because you're protecting yourself, you're getting exposed to different asset classes, all that stuff. I love commodities personally. I love stocks more than anything. Stocks are my number one, my go-to. Real estate second. I usually get real estate through Real Estate Investment Trust, which are companies that own real estate and lease it out. But yeah, I love REITs though. I could talk about REITs all day long. REITs in my sheets, dude. Let's keep watching the video.
It's hard.
You won't cancel these trips?
Well, we've made commitments to our other people.
And then you have to have the hard conversation, the mature conversation.
Oh my God.
You guys actually want to start your marriage on a successful footing? These are the conversations you have to have.
I don't know about that. They can both be broke together. Their bankers love them. These are their best customers. And they can vote? Yeah, not anymore. Oh, did we get rid of that?
S47 says buy Coca-Cola. Lol. That's what I've learned so far. No, I mean, look, I'm just saying that, like, Coca-Cola is an example of a great company. I own at least a share of Coca-Cola in my portfolio, but it's not the only company I own. I own several different companies. I own several different ETFs. I own it all. I own whatever I can get my grubby hands on. I try to buy a share of each. I have a very... My approach to investing is I will have everything on the menu. I'll have a little of everything. that I see on the menu. I diversify. Stay diversified, man. S47 says 60-20-20 in stocks and commodities and real estate investments. Okay, that's interesting. Zechariah says, yeah, you're I like to watch on YouTube because you help us know what bank is in, trying to teach us what the bank. Okay, invest in gold. How is it? I mean, gold is great in the sense that it's at least a way for you to preserve your wealth to some degree because it's fairly inflation proof. That's the one thing about it. Let's keep watching.
I thought we weren't going to do that until Trump was in office. Did we already get rid of that?
And then more Target. Oh, wait, what is this other $485? There has to be another Disneyland ticket.
Another ticket.
What is happening?
Yeah, those two deserve to be broke. I'm sorry. There's just some people in this world who just... they make the dumbest decisions. It's crazy. It is crazy to me. I don't believe in lifestyle inflation, by the way. I believe it exists, but for me personally, I'm aware of what lifestyle inflation is, and the more money I make, the more I invest it. That's the key. The more money I make, the more I invest it, because I would rather just have the income from the dividends come in, and if I want, I'll reinvest the dividends into whatever other asset I feel like putting it into, but yeah. I will say, though, that gold has utility. Jake is saying gold is worth gold. Fiat currency is worth what you believe it is. So here's the thing. Bitcoin and all the cryptocurrencies are stupid. Those are Bitcoin and all cryptocurrencies are fiat currencies. Cash is fiat currencies. Gold is actually a real asset. It has utility. It can be used for things in real life. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are fucking stupid. And cryptocurrency is fiat. Physical currencies like the dollar and the yen and all that, those are fiat. You know, it's all fiat. The only thing that's really, truly could be considered God's money, I guess, would be silver and gold. Gold is pretty sexy, though. Gold has just more use cases for it, so gotta buy gold. By the way, I want to thank you guys for subscribing. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, please. The more likes and subscribes we get, the better. It keeps the channel afloat. Keeps my mussy tight. Keeps me feeling alright. Getting a lot of watch time hours from this shit. All right, sorry guys. Just checking out the statistics. This stream is doing way better than I anticipated it would. This is insane. Didn't you love me faster than the devil? Run me straight into the ground. The Didster. Had Leo, neighbor. All right, let's take a look. Buy it directly from the source. Buy a gold ring. Interesting considering all the interest Dubai makes on their investments. Yeah. I just love investing in companies. And companies that own real estate and lease out the real estate. That's another thing that I'm interested in. I love real estate investment trusts, man. I think they're the greatest, one of the greatest asset classes out there. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Give me one moment. This will take a second. They say I'm too diversified. It made me cry. All right, what are we getting at, you guys? Let's maybe I'll react to maybe one more video. Let's see. Oh snap! It looks like the Timberwolves destroyed the Warriors. That makes sense. Let's see. All right, let's take a look here. Well, I'm trying to think if I got anything else I want to add to all this stuff, but I can't think of anything at the moment. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel. More subscribers we get, obviously, the better. All right, looks like 18% of you say yes. Is he being wrongfully accused? 325 votes, by the way. 77% you said no. I'm just going to close the poll, though. Let's close the poll. No, I can't close the poll. Never mind. Liar. UAE has zero taxes and zero interest. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. I don't know what UAE is. Well, let's see. I don't know if I got anything else I want to add on all this, you guys. I'm just happy that you guys have viewed the video. S47 says I'm switching sides for you. That's funny. That's funny. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. The more simps we got, the better. Look up Cassie for victim embezzlement. That's crazy. Switching sides for... Yeah, the whole Cassie thing just seems pretty weird. I think they're both guilty. I think Diddy's guilty. I think Cassie's guilty. They're both guilty. They're both terrible people. And Adrian Builds Magic says, I really want you to watch Larry's last mission trip. I'm about ready to end the stream here in just a second, man. Well, Jake says, well, ultimately it's safe to say that Rome fell to the enemy within. Augustus, losing all his heirs, basically doomed the empire. Pepperific says, do you think Diddy is the... No, I don't know. I think he's a very messed up person. And we'll see what ultimately happens. Random guy on YouTube, my biological stepson just came in at the nick of time. I'm about ready to leave the stream, but he says, is it dry? My mussy's dry in disappointment with the whole Diddy thing. With all the Diddy stuff going on, I just have a very, very dry mussy at the moment. And I think that's just kind of, where it is. And it's unfortunate. And, Diddy making me sad, dude. He's just making me sad. That's about it, man. The Didster. Why, Diddy? Why? Why did you do what you did, Diddy? Let's see. Diddy's new lawyer. Oh, I'm not gonna say that name, Meteor Man. I know what you're trying to get me to say. Pepperific says, "Do you think Diddy will call out and bring other celebs in this case? In the case, probably. He might bring LeBron, Diddy, James, Adrian Bill's Magic. Dang it! I know I should have been. That's all right. It's okay." Sometimes just arrive late to the stream, no problem, no problem. But yeah, I gotta disappoint you guys, including my boy, my biological stepson, Ty Lord. I'm tired. I gotta clean up the house a little bit. Just want to clean it up and minimize a little bit and just kind of relax and take a load off. But I'll catch you all later. Thanks for viewing, and well. What else we got? Well, nothing else. But I want to thank you guys for taking the time to view. Keep the mussy dry is the goal. A dry mussy is a good mussy, and that's about the extent of it. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I really greatly appreciate it. Have fun.